Antarctica was never supposed to hold life. It was meant to be a frozen graveyard of ice and silence, untouched by biology, older than human memory. For centuries, it has existed as the last true frontier on Earth, a place where maps end and imagination begins. And yet, modern whistleblowers continue to insist that something about Antarctica has never been fully disclosed. Satellite images showing unnatural mountain caverns, rumors of sealed underground zones, stories of heat where there should only be deathly cold. Most of these claims were dismissed as fantasy until a scientific drilling mission encountered something that should not exist. The team had arrived in East Antarctica to conduct a routine climate study. Their task was simple: measure ice stability and temperature shifts linked to global warming. The region they chose was among the coldest and most geologically stable places on the planet. Nothing unusual had ever been recorded there. But only 3 days into the mission, their instruments began displaying data that made no sense. Beneath nearly 2 kilometers of solid ice, sensors detected a concentrated heat signature 12 degrees, warmer than the surrounding ice. Such warmth should only exist near volcanic activity, yet seismic readings showed the ground was completely still. No tremors, no magma movement. Nothing. Satellite spectrometry added another disturbing detail. The air above the anomaly carried trace gases that typically appear only when organic matter breaks down in warm environments. That alone was impossible. Antarctica's subglacial zones do not support active biology. As the team moved closer to the coordinates, physical effects began almost immediately. Several scientists felt sudden pressure in their ears, like a violent descent in an aircraft. One technician became dizzy and collapsed into the snow. Equipment detected brief bursts of infrasound low-frequency vibrations known to cause nausea, fear, and disorder. The region itself was silent, yet their bodies reacted as if something unseen was pulsing beneath the ice. That night, confirmation arrived from a second satellite, Tenatirid. The anomaly was real. One conclusion became unavoidable. There was an air pocket beneath the ice, a sealed space that should not exist. The team knew there was only one way to find out what lay below. They would have to drill into it. Using a hot water drilling system designed for sterile subglacial exploration, they began melting a narrow bore through the ice. Strict contamination protocols were followed. Protective suits, filtered tubing. Nothing could be allowed to enter or escape uncontrolled. For over 1,000 meters, the drill descended normally. Then, at exactly 1,784 meters, pressure on the drill dropped suddenly. The monitors confirmed it. The drill had broken into a hollow space. Before anyone could react, air rushed upward through the borehole. It was warm, humid, and it carried a sharp metallic scent. Sensors detected biological particles within the vapor. That was impossible. Subglacial cavities should be filled with frozen water or compressed gas, not warm air carrying signs of life. Several researchers stepped back, covering their mouths. One became violently sick. Another reported intense tingling in her hands. A biologist stared at the rising vapor and whispered that this air had not touched the surface in millions of years. After hours of debate, fear gave way to curiosity. The team widened the borehole and constructed a reinforced descent capsule. 2 explorers volunteered. As the capsule lowered, the audio feed filled with faint static pulses. When it finally reached the bottom, thermal imaging revealed a dry cavern, warm and stable. When the door opened, heavy humid air poured in. The explorers had stepped into a hidden world. Inside, the environment felt wrong. The air was thick, pressing against their lungs. Moisture drifted through their lights in slow, floating strands. The stone beneath their boots was smooth but unnaturally polished, as if shaped by slow melting rather than erosion. Along the walls, thin membranes of moisture rippled as the explorers moved. Not dripping, not still. Responding. One explorer scraped a dark film from the wall. Under the light, it contracted as if recoiling. Field analysis revealed something shocking. The amino acids in the sample were all life on Earth uses left-handed amino acids. This molecular orientation makes Earth biology possible. Right-handed proteins cannot interact with Earth enzymes. No known natural process on this planet produces stable right-handed biological systems. The sample did not follow the rules of life on Earth. Deeper in the cave, mineral patches glowed faintly when the explorers exhaled. Oxygen triggered a reaction. When they held their breath, the glow vanished. The cave was responding to their presence like a living system. Oxygen levels fluctuated unpredictably. Pressure built behind their eyes. The environment felt aware. Then came the dust. When disturbed, particles rose into tight spirals, moving in organized patterns. Under a microscope, the microorganisms inside did not use known methods of movement. They twisted and pulsed like microscopic springs. Infrasound filled the cavern at 17 hertz of frequency, known to induce fear and hallucinations. The explorers' heart rates synchronized. Their memories faltered. One could no longer recall which direction they had come from. Eventually, they reached a deeper chamber. A sloping passage opened into a vast space filled with still liquid water. No ripples, no movement. The walls held shapes trapped in stone organic rib-like structures, unlike any known life form. And partially submerged in the water was a massive object encased in a translucent, resin-like shell. Thermal imaging showed slow internal movement, not muscle, not geology. Something dormant. As the chamber warmed from their presence, the resin softened. Cracks echoed through the space. Internal heat patterns shifted. The object was reacting. Oxygen levels humidity overwhelmed their equipment. One explorer collapsed. Panic took over. They retreated, sealing samples and escaping to the surface. Back in the lab, the truth emerged. The microorganisms contained a fifth nucleotide, something no Earth DNA or RNA has ever used. The resin sample was not dead. It was dormant. Its molecular bonds showed extreme radiation resistance, previously seen only in microscopic organisms found inside meteorite fragments. This life had evolved under intense cosmic radiation. It did not originate on Earth. The conclusion was unavoidable. The organism likely arrived long ago, carried by a comet or meteor before Antarctica froze. Its chemistry released heat, slowly melting the ice around it and forming the cavern over thousands of years. It did not build the cave. The cave formed because it existed, and the implications were terrifying. Earth biology has no defense against this organism. Its chemistry cannot be recognized, attacked, or broken down by anything on this planet. If released, it would not need to infect humans. It would quietly replace microbial ecosystems, alter soil, destabilize water systems, and reshape environments from the ground up. The damage would begin long before anyone realized what was happening. The decision was made immediately. All data was classified. Communications were cut. The site was erased. The samples were sealed in a remote facility. Officially, nothing was found beneath the ice. But fragments of the truth have leaked out, and Antarctica remains sealed. For now,